Thumbs up once you have an answer. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys another 30 seconds. Talk to your group. Talk to them. What you guys come up with? What you guys Are we solving them? Two claps. Ready. Thank you. Minna, what do you think, or what did your group say? Yeah, what was that second? B doesn't belong because they're all 54 and B is 42. What you guys got? Thank you. Let's see. Axel, what do you and your group say? B is the answer? Oh, B doesn't belong. Why? Your group say? Should we talk to you? Yeah, we'll go back to you. Alright. Damien, what do you and your group say? Axel, here we go. We'll go back to you. So again, B doesn't belong because A, C, and D are all the same number. Thank you, Damien. Axel, do you have an answer now? Not yet? Ready. Alright, we'll give you guys another 30 seconds. This time, remember, some of you guys gave me answers. Is there an equal sign? No? Alright, so now this discussion, let's try to use some more academic language. What are you doing in order to make sure, tell me which one doesn't belong? Okay? Go ahead. 30 seconds. So let's use some more academic language. Well, make sure you still pay attention. This one. Maybe even try to write down what word. Make sure the truth is not get out there everybody else. Okay? Let's try that. Ten seconds. Make sure you're If you don't know the answer, make sure you hear what the answer is so that you're ready to share. Two claps, ready, ready. One clap, ready, ready. Cheers. What do you hear him say? That's what he says. Thank you. A, C, and D are all what? Equivalent. Is that one of our academic words? Nice. Thank you. Esmeralda. What do you and your group say? Okay, so B doesn't belong because not equivalent to the rest of them. Again, we got that word equivalent. Anyone got a different academic word that they used? Jacob. Sixth grade, please, thank you.
I thought of it, and actually B doesn't belong because even though they equal the same, or yeah, supposed to equal the same, the difference is that A, B, and C are using parentheses, and they're actually, and after using the parentheses, the multiplying before, B is just using the sum basically. So what I'm trying to say is that B doesn't belong because it's not using the exact same formula of A, B, and C.
Okay, I like that. So D doesn't belong because not using the same formula as the rest. So you said this is just the sum, right? What does sum mean again?
Addition.
Addition. What's going on over here?
Addition and multiplication.
Multiplication, right? How do we say the answer of multiplication problem? As Daniela?
A product?
Product, right? So this is just using the sum, and this using a product method. I'll take it. Anybody else use a different vocabulary word? Sam.
I believe that D doesn't belong because the expression does not use a coefficient, unlike A, B, or C.
Does it have a coefficient? Okay. Thank you. I'm looking for one more. Think of, what's today? Tuesday? Think of Friday's lesson. There's a new vocab word we threw in on Friday. David.
A, C, and D all have the same value, but B does not.
Okay, so A, C, and D all have the same value. I like that. So it's another vocab word. Value, and B does not. Cool. All right, cool. Thank you. Remember, this one's no right or wrong answers. I just want to hear you guys talk. All right. Get into today's lesson. All right, our learning targets. Sam, what's our first learning target? Nice and loud, please.
Use the distributive property to write equivalent expressions.
Thank you. Eddie, second one, please. Nice and loud. Combine.
Combine like terms to write equivalent expressions.
Thank you. And the last one, Brian. Last one, nice and loud, please. Last one.
Identify equivalent
Expressions. Thank you. Okay. Let's go ahead and check off some stuff real quick. First one, equivalent expressions. What does that mean? What's an equivalent expression? Julia. That the expressions are what?
They're all equal.
Equal. Okay, so we got that one done? We got that one checked off? Combine like terms to write equivalent expressions, right? So we know what equivalent expressions are. Do we know what combined like terms are? Or is that a new vocab word? To be a new vocab word. So that should be one of the things we're learning today. Combining like terms. Alright? Right, like terms. First one, use the distributive property to write equivalent expressions. Again, we know what equivalent expressions are. Do we know what the distributive property is? Or is that a new lesson? I mean, or is that a new word as well? We talked about it on Friday, so for some of us it might be new. If you weren't here Friday, After subwoods, we might need a review because no one said it for this one, right? Did you guys not use the distributive property on this?
Yes.
Some of you guys did.
Use the opposite.
Okay, we'll get to it. So the new one again, distributive property, okay? Do not take out your books yet. Let's go ahead and review some vocab. Alright? First one, equivalent. What is it?
Equivalent.
Raise your hand. Who can tell me what equivalent means? What does it talk to you? That's it.
Equivalent means equal to.
Means equal to, right? So we should know that one. Boom. Ooh, what's an expression? What's an expression, David?
So something that doesn't have a value, or it doesn't equal to anything, it's just an equation.
It's not an equation. It's similar to an equation. What's the difference between an equation and an expression, David? Do you remember? You said it. It doesn't have a
Value?
It doesn't have value, which means it doesn't have an equal sign, right? So an expression, remember, it's just a number sentence, right? A number sentence with no equal sign. Okay? Is this an expression?
Yes.
So for example, 4x. For example, 4x plus 9. Okay? We write that big. 4x plus 9. Alright? Variable. Variable. We did this a few weeks ago. What is a variable?
The variable is an unknown number.
It's an unknown number, and we use what to represent it?
To represent it, we use letters.
A letter. For example, is there a variable in our example right here?
Yes.
What's our variable? X. Alright? Our variable is X. Products. We went over this one earlier. What's product? The answer to a what? Everybody. Multiplication problem. There's no problem, this will get added, right? So product, answer to a multiplication. Factors. Factors. There is actually one over there. Factors. What's a factor? Yeah, post that. What's a factor? Samuel.
Numbers in a number sentence.
Close. Close. Look at the poster. GCF. What does GCF stand for?
Greatest common factor.
Greatest common factor. When we find the greatest common factor, what do we do with that number, Anthony?
They have the same number.
So they have a number in common. What do we do with that number? We circle it, and then what do we do with that number? Simplify or divide. Right? So again, factors. Maybe this one should have been the red. We got to review it again. Factors. Right? Usually we have two numbers. We find the biggest number they have in common. And then we can factor it out, which means we can divide that number out. Does that make sense? New vocabularies. Like terms. Like terms. Someone gave us the example of a term. What is a term? I'll move out of the way. What is a term? Damon Ray.
A number, a variable, or the product of a number and a variable.
So again, a number, a variable, or the product of a number and a variable. Again, in a number sentence, the terms, right? How many terms are in this number sentence? Two, right? 1, 2. What separates the terms is any mathematical symbol, right? It could be addition, it could be multiplication, subtraction,
Division.
addition, whichever one makes division, right? So a term, so for example, this one, there's two terms. Like terms are terms that are the same. For example, I have a 4x and I have a 9. Are these terms the same? No, because one has a variable and one doesn't. Example, if I had if I had 4x plus 9 plus 3x, do I have terms that are the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do I have terms that are alike?
Yeah.
Which ones? So I can combine those terms. What is 4x plus 3x? 7x, right? All we're doing is combining it. Does that make sense? So I combine this with this, and it becomes 7x plus 9. Does that make sense? And again, earlier in the start question, a lot of you guys are solving. Do we solve expressions? No. We just simplify them, make them smaller. Unless it says find the value. Okay? But for some of you guys are giving me the answer. I mean, that's fine. That's your thinking method. For expressions, we don't need to solve. Okay? That would be our answer right here. If this is our question, this would be our answer. Because I can't combine 7x and I can't combine it with 9. Does that make sense? Last one. Distributive property. Distributive property. Right? Distributive property. Some of us have that little thinking face. Let's break it down. Remember, on Friday, I said, what does the word distribute, or in Spanish, distribuir? What does that mean? What does it mean? What does distribute or distribuir mean? What does it mean to distribute? I said, hey, distribute this. What are you going to do? Isaac?
The word distribute means that you are going to divide an amount between the next
So you're going to give some amount, right? For example, on these examples right here, what number are we to distribute in? 6, right? The number that's outside the parentheses, right? And when you distribute it, you distribute to one person or to everybody? Distribute to everybody. So this example would be 6 times 4 and 6 times 3, which becomes what? 24
plus 8
plus
18.
18. Make sense?
Yeah.
So don't forget that one. Distributive property. When you forget, break it down. Distribute. Si se nos olvida, distribuir. Right? Lo tienes que pasar a todos los números. Questions? Comments? Alright. Go ahead and take out your math questions. Turn to page 441. Page 441. That's what's page 441. You got the new math book, not the old thing. You got the new one. You got the new one? That's the old thing. That's the old thing. You got the new one? I think I have an extra over here, guys. I mean, Jacob. Where'd I put the other book at? Oh, I mean, Jacob, is there enough? Because we need to order one more. We were missing one. Actually, yes. Check your, here, use this one. Check your chair pocket. I think we put it in your chair pocket. Yeah? There it is. Yeah, because we're only missing one and we'll use the paper. So use that one. Ready? Alright, let's go. It's 2 claps. Ready, ready. You know when to stop. Alright? The Romano family paid for a streaming movie service that cost $8 per month. What do I circle? $8 per month. Thank you. They want to add a second movie service for $D per month. What am I circling? For something else? Add. Thank you. What was that sound?
Yeah.
So we're adding something. Alright? Write 2 expressions for the total cost of both services for 3 months. Why am I stopping? That's what I have to get done, right? This question. I have to write 2 expressions for the total cost of both services for 3 months. One expression should be the sum of 2 terms, and one should be the product of 2 factors. Alright? So what's first stop? Where are we stopping? What am I circling?
What expression, becomes two terms?
As a product, two factors.
Good. So there's how many answers for this one? Two. One of them has to be the sum of two terms, right? Which means we're adding two terms. And the second one should be the product of two factors. What does product mean again?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So one of them has to be just a sum, we're adding, and the other one has to have multiplication. Yes? Alright, so let's go ahead and what important numbers do we have so far?
$8.
8 what? $8 per month, right? So we have one that are paying $8 for 1 month, right? And then what are we doing to that $8 a month?
We're adding.
Thanks for raising your hand.
Adding or,
We're adding.
yeah, we're adding or multiplying 3.
We're adding. Remember, when we write that number sets go in order. So we have $8 per month. Yes. $8 per month, and then we add. What are we adding next? $8 per month. Right? Do we know how much it costs? No. So we have a variable, right? Our variable is D. So plus D, and then whatever it costs per month, right? For however many months that we need. And then it says write two expressions for a total cost of 3 months. So how many months are we doing in total? 3. So what do I need to do to this 8? Multiply it by 3. What do I have to do to the D? Multiply it by how much? By 3. Alright? Everyone. 3 times 8?
24.
D times 3?
We don't know.
We don't know, but how can we write it?
D.
Not D3, other way.
3D.
3D. Right? Alright, so we got stuck on this one. Why are we writing it as 3D? Right? Let's look right here. What does the 24 represent? And actually, touch your groups. What does the 24 represent? What does the 3D represent? Touch your groups. What does the 24 represent?
$8 for 3 months.
'What about the 3D? What is that?
Probably 3D means like
Don't overthink it. It's right in front of you. I started recording just in case. I was like, don't worry. Right? Don't overthink it. It's right in front of you. 2 claps. Ready, ready. Donna, what did your group say? What does 24 represent?
The amount that they're gonna like
Pay.
spend on the streaming service.
Good. All right. So she said the $24. Right. This $24 represents how much you're paying for the first streaming movie service. Yes. What about that 3D? Thank you, Donna. What about that 3D? City. What does the 3D represent?
The 3 months.
What was that?
The 3 months.
The 3 months are paying for what?
Or
So the 3 represents the 3 months. What about the D?
the dollars.
The dollars for the second movie service, right? So first streaming service, second streaming service, yes?
Yes.
So do we know how much they're paying for the second one? No, that's why you put a variable, right? We don't know how much it is, right? Let's see if you guys remember. And when I have a number next to a variable, what does that mean? When I have a number next to a variable, what does that mean? David?
Having this on factor.
Close? Sam?
It's a coefficient.
So we're gonna multiply, right? So whatever D is, right, whatever the amount of dollars is, we're gonna multiply that by 3. Why? That's the 3 months that they had that service. Okay? Now, I know it seems like a lot. Did we do the sum of 2 terms, or did we do the product of 2 factors? What does this look like? 10, 10, 10, please. The sum of 2 terms, right? Sum means add. 1 term there, 1 term there. Now we got you to do the second one. The product of 2 factors. I forgot who said factors earlier. Give us a definition of factors. Because that's it, right? When we do GCF, it's the second one, right? Let's use our answer. We got 24 plus 3. Alright, let's do the GCF of 24 and 3. GCF of 24 and 3. Add 24. What are the factors of 3? This is an easy one first. 3. Let's get by 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Alright, let's stop right there. Actually, don't go. What 2 numbers can we multiply to get 3? 1 and 3. Is that it? Yeah? What about for 24? What 2 numbers can I multiply to get 24? Julia? 6 times 4. What else? David? 1 times 24. What else? Francisco? 3 times 8. Are we done? Any other ones? Any right? 12 times 2. Any other ones? Now, 7 times 3. It's 21. Is there any number that they have in common? Is there any number, Ryan? Is there any number that they have in common? 3. So let's circle 3. That means that 3 is a factor, right? Earlier I said when we factor, that means we can divide that number out. Yes? Good? So if our original answer was 24 plus 3b, I said we could factor out 3, means we can divide this by 3. Right? What's 24 divided by 3? 10, 10, 10, 10. 24 divided by 3. Isaac. 8 plus, what is 3d divided by 3? 3d divided by 3. David? 0. 3 divided by 3? Number 3 divided by 3. 1. Thank you. Right? Or I can just leave it as d. What was the factor? What factor did they have in common? 3. So that goes outside. Okay? Here and here. If we go back to our question, it says one expression should be the sum of 2 terms. Angie told us that this is the sum of 2 terms. Yes? Second one has to be the product of 2 factors. Did we factor this out?
Yes.
Is that the product?
Yes.
Remember, when the factor is outside of the parentheses, what do we have to do to bring it back in?
Distributed property.
Distributed property, which is,
Distributed.
we multiply, add, subtract,
Multiply.
multiply. So that's product. Yes. I'll find the product if I multiply that back in. All right. Group points. What does that mean for 24 plus 3D and 3 times 8 times 18? What does that mean? Those two answers are blank. Talk to your group. Talk to your group. Make sure everybody's ready. It's almost this. Make sure everybody's ready. It's almost this. Ready? Two claps. Ready, ready. Let's see who gets your points. David, what does that mean for our two answers? They're both equivalent expressions. Thank you. Go ahead and give me some quick, please. They're both equivalent expressions. Oh, we go back to the beginning. What are we going to be learning today? What was that? What are we learning today? Alright, so going back to our objective, we're identifying equivalent expressions. Thank you, David. So, in this lesson, you're going to see this a lot. I know we get confused when we want to read, right? So let's try to make it simple. You're going to see sum of two terms. Everybody say it? Sum of two terms. And you're going to see product of two factors. Product of two factors. Break it down, right? Sum of two terms. That means I'm adding two terms. Keep it simple. I'm adding two terms. Okay? Second one. Product of two factors. Again, product means the answer of what? That means I'm answering multiply. Alright? So there's only two. There's one with parentheses, one without parentheses. Easier way that I can remember it, parentheses means I need to multiply. So that's product. Okay? This nowhere here in my multiply. So that is again product. Okay? So we'll check. Or some kids just remember this one and be like, oh, if it's not this one, it has to be. Alright, so keep it simple. Break it down. I think David already answered this one, right? Look at the expressions 24 plus 3D and 3 times 8 plus D, right? Which expression is the sum of two terms? We did this already. Which one is the sum of two terms? The first one or the second one? First one. Which one is the product of two factors? Second one, which means that they're both, David?
Equivalent expression.
Equivalent expressions. Thank you. Alright, let's see. Straight up. Turn to page 444. Use the distributive property to write 5x plus 3 times 2 as the sum of two terms. So go ahead and work with your group on this one. The answer should be the sum of two terms. Alright? Actually, this one, take out your whiteboards. Take out your whiteboards. Once you have your answers, put your whiteboard up. I'm looking for the sum of two terms. No, everyone can take it up. Go ahead and stop this. I was recording just to.